Hello, dear children. I hope all of you are fine. In today's video, we will be starting a new chapter, that is reproduction in plants. What is reproduction? Reproduction is a process by which living beings produce young ones of their own kind. In the previous chapter, I told you that there are two types of plants. First one is flowering plants and the second one is non-flowering plants. Flowering plants are the plants that possess flower in them. Okay, and the reproduction in flowering plants includes three processes. First one is pollination, second one is fertilization, and the third one is seed germination. We have already discussed about pollination in the last chapter. What is pollination? Pollination is a process by which pollen grains are transferred from the male part to the female part of the flower. Male part is the anther and the female part is the stigma. So, pollination is a process by which pollen grains are transferred from anther to the stigma of a flower. Now, in this chapter, in this video, I'll be telling you about fertilization and seed germination. Now see, after a flower is pollinated, each pollen grain that is present on the stigma grows a tiny tube-like structure towards the ovary. This tiny tube-like structure is known as pollen tube. Why the term pollen tube is given? Because that a tiny tube-like structure is grown by pollen grains. So that's why that tube is known as pollen tube. Now what happens? The male gametes are the cells. Okay, so the male gametes or the male cells that is in the pollen grains reaches the ovary, passing through this pollen tube. When it reaches down to the ovary, the male gametes get joined or fused to the female gamete. Okay, this process of joining or combining of male gamete with the female gamete in a flower is called fertilization. Okay, you have to remember this, that fertilization can not take place without pollination. Now what happens after fertilization? The petals, stamen and stigma, they dry off and they fall off. The ovule that was present, now that ovule will be converted into seed and the ovary, the whole ovary will become fruit. Okay, as you can see in the picture, the process of fertilization will be clear to you. See, at the top stigma is present and on the stigma some pollen grains are present. Okay, each pollen grain is growing its own pollen tube. One pollen grain has grown its pollen tube and that pollen tube is making its way down to the ovary, as you can see in the picture. Now inside the ovary, ovules are present. The pollen grains from the stigma through this pollen tube reaches to that ovary. It gets fused with that ovule. Okay, and this whole process of fusion is known as fertilization. Now the second topic is parts of a seed. That ovary will get converted into fruit and that ovule will become seed. This seed may have following main parts. The first part is seed coat. Seed coat is the outer protective covering which protects the seed. As in winters, you wear coat and jacket so that your body may be protected from the cold weather. Same way, the seed coat is present on the outer side of the seed so that the embryo that is present inside the seed may be protected. Now what is the embryo? Embryo is the baby plant. Okay, just remember this term, embryo is the baby plant. When the plant starts growing, that small baby plant will be considered as embryo. Now if you observe the seed carefully, you will find a scar on one side of the seed. What is scar? Scar is the point of attachment of the seed to the fruit. since seed is present inside the fruit, so it will be attached somewhere. Both seed and the fruit will be attached to each other at somewhere, na? So that point of attachment is known as scar. And on the top of that scar, there is a tiny hole present. That hole is present so that the seed may absorb water. Suppose you have kept the seed inside the water for some time, so after some time you will notice that seed will become soft and it will swollen up. So how that water went inside the seed? The water goes inside the seed through this small hole. Okay. Now inside this protective covering, there are two parts. The two parts is known as seed leaves or cotyledons, and these both cotyledons, they are attached together. What is the function of cotyledon? Cotyledon, the main function of this cotyledon is to reserve food for the growing baby plant. Since a baby plant cannot make their own food, na? When a plant grows to some extent, then they start making their own food. Okay, but a small baby plant cannot make their own food. So how they'll get the food for when they'll grow? They will get the food from these cotyledon. So these cotyledon will act as reservoir of food for these growing baby plant. Okay. Now an embryo has two parts. One is plumule and the second one is radicle. As you know, a normal plant has two parts. One is shoot and another one is root. Na? Same way, a baby plant has also this shoot and root. So the tiny shoot, the shoot is the part of the plant that grows above the ground. So that tiny shoot is known as plumule. Okay, the tiny leaves that comes out of the seed, those leaves are known as plumule. That tiny shoot is known as plumule. And the root, the tiny root that goes inside the soil, that tiny root will be known as radicle. R for root, R for radicle. Okay, just remember this thing. And the other thing is plumule. So that shoot will be known as plumule. Okay. Now there are two types of seed. One is monocot seed and the second one is dicot seeds. If a seed is having two cotyledons, then it will be considered as dicot seeds. And if a seed is having one cotyledon, then it will be known as monocot seed. Monoterm, M-O-N-O, monoterm means one, and D-I, di means two. So monocot seeds have one cotyledon and dicot seeds have two cotyledons. Okay. Examples of monocot seeds are maize, rice, oat, etc. And that of dicot seeds are peas, beans, etc. Okay. If a seed is having two cotyledons, then it will be known as dicot seed, and if a seed is having only one cotyledon, then it will be known as monocot seeds. This much for today. I hope everything is clear to you. Kindly read page number 42 and 43, and in the next video we'll be discussing about seed germination, agent of dispersal and reproduction in non-flowering plants. Thank you so much and God bless you.